Good morning, guys. It is Saturday. It's the weekend, and we're here on Flippin Live, streaming live. It is actually day 21, guys. So it's day 21, 3 weeks in a row, 21 days in a row, 21-day beard here on Flippin Live. So today we're going to talk about records, record reselling online, just general things about records and how to resell them, whether it's on Amazon, whether it's on eBay, and talk about some other stuff too. So let's get to it here on Flippin Live on day 21.
Flippin' live, flippin' live, flippin' live, flippin' live, flippin' live. We're gonna strive, we're here to learn and gonna earn. Flippin' live, flippin' live, flippin' live, we're flippin' live.
All right, guys, good morning. Happy Saturday. Oh, right, yeah. Well, give me 1 second, Brian. I totally forgot. Let me upload the video. Give me 1 second. I actually had to race down to the warehouse this morning, and I shot a video, and I was gonna upload it just so you guys can see, what's going on with that. So I will do that while we are chatting. I saw Pat was here. Hopefully check back in. Ultraviolet codes I mentioned last week but forgot to elaborate, so I sent a photo and a better explanation. Yeah, I'm not familiar with those, but let me know how that goes. Yeah, I did buy quite a lot of vinyl records back in March. I bought, well, it was supposed to be 1,000 records, but for $400, and it turned out that as I've gone through them, I'm almost done. I have about a crate and a half left, but as I've gone through them, quite a few, I don't mean by like hundreds, but maybe, it's hard to say, probably less than 100, but enough to notice that actually the records were not actually in the sleeves. If it would have been way more than that, then that would have been a big bust. But thankfully, it wasn't too many. But one of the things that has happened with that bulk buy is that the record sleeves are by and large in pretty rough shape. Some of them are just destroyed, as in some of them have water damage, or the two big ones are either water damage, or they have like the seams at the top of the covers are ripped open, that type of thing. They're just in really shabby shape in general. It's amazing to me how people mistreated their items. Let's see, here we go. I have the video. Give me 1 second. Yeah, that's one thing for sure you've gotta pay attention to. When you're buying anything, but it was a weird buy in a certain sense, because the guy who I was buying from wasn't even there, but his son-in-law was there, and the guy was trying to talk to me over the phone about it, And then he was getting upset because he couldn't come over there because he wanted to be there for when I was buying them. It was a little strange, so to say the least. Here, let me get this out of the way. So I wasn't able to actually meet the guy.
All right, guys, this is all that I have left.
Who had the items for sale. But anyway, here, let me show you the video just so you get an idea, and then I can talk more about them, about what they actually look like.
All right, guys, this is all that I have left to go through. This is the only vinyl here. So that's maybe like a little over a crate and a half. And that's it. So I've already gone through all of this. These are ones that I'm keeping that are in some random older genres for the most part. Those down here.
You know, I'm not sure if you guys can hear me because I was talking low. But anyway, I'm going to mute it and just kind of talk over it. Basically, yeah, that's what I had left right there are those records, which is not too many. I almost finished, but wasn't quite able to finish this week. So I was glad that I was able to get that far because it was a lot of records. So yeah, those are the ones I still have to go through. Not too many. That'll probably take me like, I don't know, 2 hours or something to get through. And then over here are the ones that I've already gone through. Those ones on the floor next to the trash can there, those are ones I'm going to put out for sale. Those are a lot of those are older ones from like 60s or older, and also just some genres variety of different genres that didn't fit into the other genres I have. So there's those. Oh, right. Those on the floor where it says BB King, those are actually empty. So I'm keeping those potentially to use as decoration. I might just end up tossing them, but some of the cover art is really cool, so I kept some of those. And then that's rock, 70s rock there, that Christopher Cross pile. And 90s up there on the top. And then those are all variety, like 70s, soul and R&B, jazz, 80s, reggae. And then over there on the floor, all of these are essentially the ones that I've already gone through. The ones on the table I already gone through too, but haven't put them in boxes or crates. So these four right here are 70s R&B, soul, funk, disco as well. So that was the majority of what was in this collection. So that's there. And then I don't know if I'll show it. So right there on top here is jazz, and below that is jazz as well. So I'm going to have a good amount of jazz records. And then that one down there is 80s. And those are the ones, I mean, that's 4, 5, 6, 7 crates. Those are the ones that I'm going to sell for higher price, $5 to $7 on average, because all my other vinyl is $3. So those are just a little bit more ones that are priced a little bit higher online.
The records were broken. Also, there was ones that were just
right, and then there were loose. They're loose vinyl, so either they were just completely loose in the collection that I got, or they were in a sleeve, or they were singles, or the cover was really too destroyed to even bother. So I put those out in a box over here. There you can see over there. And I sell them for $1 a piece. We'll see what the interest is in those. Anyway, so that was basically the Pat Forever Sorting. Yeah, exactly. I need to have a sale soon to sell a bunch of this stuff off. I am Forever Sorting, but I'm also listing online and selling, so that's a good thing. But I'll be glad to get through sorting these records. It's quite a lot. So ended up with, as you could see, a good amount. But, like I said, a lot of these records, if they were in even a solid, good, high good to low, very good condition, I could probably have sold a lot more online or priced them a little higher locally. There's just a lot of them that are just in poor condition, and that's just turns out to be that's how this collection was. But it's amazing how bad the collection is in in terms of conditions. And then I have over here. Oh, I have over here the records so far that I'll be listing on eBay. So you get a chance. Oops, you can see it's a good amount. I'll show you some of them here. So Tina Marie, you might be familiar with that, right? Irons in the Fire. That one goes for good money. This one's a flyer here. Yellow Magic Orchestra. There's no copy of this on eBay. And the other ones by that person were going for good money. Here's another Tina Marie, but it's a single Square Biz. Oh no, I was actually gonna get that. Okay, this one here is Latin for Lovers, Carl Tahader. There's that one. This one here actually goes for really good money, but this is a really rough condition. Dexter Wansell, Life on Mars. But I mean, look how rough that is. You can't even read it. It's all frayed and ripped and torn. But this one goes for like $25+ on eBay. But I will list it as $19.99, taking a best offer and see what happens. Luther Vandross. Some of these people I don't even know. Okay, Loose Ends. I don't know who that is. Candy Staton, who I'd never heard of before, but now I've seen multiple albums of hers in this collection. So I'm learning about all these different artists that I never heard of through this collection, which is good. A Warm Summer Night. Chic, I believe it's called. CHIC. Of course, they have a lot of popular albums. Weather Report, 8:30. The Isley Brothers. This is the thing. If some of these, like the Isley Brothers and some of this other stuff, because look at the sleeve. It's rough condition, right? If these were in like, if the sleeve here was not the spine was legible and it wasn't all torn up, and we could go for much more money, or more money anyway. A lot of these are just, the condition's kind of rough, but that's a good thing about eBay is I can take all the photos I need and make sure and put in the condition notes. Fancy Dancer. Bobby Humphrey. So this is a lot of soul, R&B, funk, as well as jazz. That's what most of this stuff is here. Blue Magic, Greatest Hits. Let's see, anything else? Oh, here's Kool and the Gang. Kool and the Gang, jazz. Oscar Peterson, who's a very well-known jazz artist. Let's see, the Stylistics, of course, very well-known group from back in the day. Let's see, we've got Parliament. Of course, they can go for good money. I don't even know. Let's see. Gospel. I've got a gospel one here. Lynette. So anyway, so a variety. Now, I tried to kind of stick to, I didn't want to sell albums for like $10. I try to stick for like $15 and up, but mostly closer to $20 that I'll list them and do a offer, or make the people can make an offer. Yeah, Tina Marie, definitely. She's a popular one from back in the day, the 80s. Does the vinyl do well at the warehouse sale? Yes, it does very, very, very well. I found that out my first couple sales, that when people started to come in, they started to find out I had vinyl. They saw on my ads that I had vinyl. People would show up early. I had people showing up early to come and try to grab as much vinyl as they could. So actually, it turned out after the first couple sales at the warehouse that the most popular item category of media was vinyl. Absolutely. So when I found that out, I realized, well, you know what? I had a good amount of vinyl already, hundreds of titles, probably like 5 or 6 crates, and I sold a lot of it those first couple sales. But I realized that I have to continually, if these people, if I can, in order to get these people to come back again, I have to keep buying new vinyl because clearly they're not going to come back and look at the same stuff. So that becomes like it's a positive because a lot of people are buying vinyl at $3 a pop, and I had ones priced higher, and people are buying those too. Um, People seem to love the uh, $3 price range or price level, and because I had people buying like 10 records, somebody bought 20, somebody bought like 25. So people were buying a lot. You know, you sell 10 records, $30. That's good for one person. And then some people, like I said, will buy the more expensive albums. But I try not to get them to be too expensive. Otherwise, I'll just sell them online because people might not want to pay $15, $20 at my local sale for a record unless it's super absolutely worth it, right? So yeah, a lot of people buying records, collectors. I mean, there's a guy who comes in every time who has, I mean, he knows his music and his records, and he's got thousands and thousands of records in his personal collection. He actually used to sell records as well, but stopped doing that. Now he's retired. So he comes by, he's real friendly, and he brings his own chair and his stool, whatever. He sits down. He's got his own little cart that he carries, and he loads up, and he'll spend whatever he needs to spend, whatever he finds. So, and I've got a couple other people that come back. So yeah, we'll see, of course, when things start reopening, how many of those people actually do come back. But yeah, vinyls. People that collect vinyl are serious about it, and they will spend whatever they need to spend. It's one of those. It's one of those categories where people are obsessed about it, right? And it's kind of similar to video games where people will spend whatever they need to for video games as well. Video games and records for sure. So records soon quickly became my number one most selling item. I would say second to CDs, and then it's books and DVDs. They're kind of close, but that's because I didn't really get a lot of people yet, book buyers yet. But I think that'll become very popular once I start getting more titles in, basically. Um, 28.99 actually for what? I'm not sure what that's for. Oh, for one of the records I showed you. Uh, yeah, so definitely they I can sell them for good money, and I want to keep the prices a little lower. People come back, and many times people would buy records, but then they'd also buy some other stuff, pick up some CDs or other types of media. Um, so yeah, I mean that it turns out that if you're into a local sale, I highly recommend having vinyl. So the good thing is that people buy a lot of vinyl. The bad thing is, I guess you could call it, when you have a retail option, you've got to keep restocking. So I've got 5 different types of media, and especially records go quick. People will go through the entire collection I have. They'll spend an hour there or more going through it. And if they're going to come back again and again, I need to have other titles. So that became a bit of a stress point for me that I had 4 weeks to find more vinyl. So I don't get vinyl from my bulk source. So I have to go out there. I have to go through Facebook Marketplace. I have to go through the local apps, Craigslist, whatever. And within 4 weeks, I've got to be able to not only find records, decent records. They can't be all, old swing, big band, classical, soundtrack type stuff, musicals, right? There's got to be some 60s to 80s are the genre. I mean, the years, right? So even more so 70s and 80s. So I've got to be able to find rock. I've got to be able to find jazz. I've got to be able to find, um, R&B and soul and funk, and some other stuff like, uh, you know, 80s, like classic 80s type stuff. Those are the kind of things that sell for the most part. Oh, oh, sorry. A small bolo for everyone. and it's supposed to be $28.99. I sold my second audio cassette via merchant fulfilled. Beatles Abbey Road fetched $28.99. Actually, is what you said. $28.99. Awesome. That's awesome. Yeah, audio cassettes, you can sell them. You can get into any niche. You can go big into audio cassettes. You can go big into VHS. You can go big into records. And you can make some money for sure. So I'll say that records are, so if you're going to get into reselling records online, it's a bit more time consuming. However, they are potentially more lucrative and have a higher price point. I sold a lot of records on Amazon about 3 to 4 years ago. I remember during Q4 I sold a lot. This was, when was this? This was, 2000. I kept records of the records that I sold in 2016, 2017, and did well. Most of them were going for over $20. I kept, here, I'll share it with you. I kept a spreadsheet. So here we've got, look, Abbey Road. How much did that go for? $34.95. That's what I mean. So I don't know what this is. The Caroliers, John Denver's Greatest Hits, Walt Disney's Happiest Songs, George Winston, Chuck Mangione's Jazz, Huey Lewis on the News, Toto, The Outfield, Weird Al Yankovic, John Denver again, The Carpenters. So Jackson Browne, Frank Sinatra, Eagles, Queen, Roy Orbison, Rush, Fleetwood Mac. So a lot of this is familiar artists: Carole King, Pet Shop Boys, Tom Petty, James Taylor, Talking Heads, Cat Stevens, Simon and Garfunkel. So you can see quite a few. And then when you look at the prices, these are actually sold prices over here. So this one, this price here, all of these, after fees, this is what I made. But here, so most of them, as you can see, are over $20. There's this one that's $12.50, $14.95, but $35, $25, $20. Look at this one, $39.99. Which one was that? That was The Outfield, Play Deep, $25. Here's another $39.99. That was Jackson Browne, Late for the Sky. $59.95. Which one was that? Queen, not a surprise. Queen, here's another one, $50. And this one here, All-Time Greatest Hits of Roy Orbison and Dwight Yoakam. These are all Amazon prices, guys. 37. So anyway, you get the point, right? The most of these are going to be going for more money. There's some here that are under 20, but by and large, they're 20 and up. Rush, yeah. I'm noticing no classical vinyls on your list. Was that so? No, I didn't really find any that I could sell for good money. I'd stick to, for classical, I'd stick most to the CDs. Again, it's your knowledge base. So the more you know, the more you can sell for more money. So get well versed in the different types of genres that sell well, just like CDs. For records, it seems like the stuff that sells best is, as you saw on the list, classic rock. So rock from either the 60s, the 70s, and then into the 80s too, if it's more of like variety of rock, but especially if you can do like heavy metal, hard rock, punk as well. I haven't found very many punk LPs, but and then 80s in general, right? Like you saw Huey Lewis in the News, and there was some other stuff. But yeah, 80s too, like just the popular 80s stuff. Pet Shop Boys is another one. Those tend to do really well. There's random titles in, there could be some album from the 40s or 50s that you could see that could sell well as well. Now, another thing I wanted to talk about in regards to selling records online is selling on Amazon versus selling on eBay. So with Amazon, as you know, their listings can be a bit of a mess. So you might look up an album and you'll find a couple of different listings. And the primary one where people are actually buying copies, and it has feedback ratings, and it has a lot of other sellers' offers on there. sometimes that'll be for the newer version of that album. So it'll be like remastered from 2012, 2014, whatever, newer versus, this is an album that came out, let's say the 70s, 80s. But you can hop on that listing even though it has a newer date. And in your condition notes, you can write, vinyl record from, 1979, from 1982, 1990, whatever. And you can put the, what do they call it? Is it the category code? There's a code on every record. Let's see if you guys can see it. If you're familiar with vinyl, you'll know this. But here, it's hard to see. But anyway, there's a number here, and so this one is G8-89. Oh wow, it's hard to see. Anyway, G8-997M1A. So that code you can put. You should put. Well, I put that code in my condition note for Amazon, and I also put it in my title for vinyl record on eBay, so that people know which one they're getting. So if someone goes on Amazon, they know that's the one, and they know the year. And of course, you got to put the condition, right? Is it good? Is it acceptable? Is it very good? That's going to be pretty rare for vinyl record. I found anyway. And then, so you can hop onto those newer versions and sell your older copy of it. People do it all the time. In fact, let me go on there now and see. I'll look up the record I have right here, and let's see. Amazon. Go to CDs and vinyl. Tina Marie. Irons in the Fire. Vinyl. I heard a comment. Pat, have you done any selling on Discogs at all? No, I have not. I've heard that it's slow. You need a big inventory, but again, that's similar to eBay and Amazon, so I don't know how true that is. I have not sold on Discogs. Oof. Okay, so here is. So here is this album here, Tina Marie, Irons in the Fire, which on eBay does really well. This is a better copy. I found 2 copies of this in the vinyl lot that I bought, and this one was the much better copy. Look at the spine. You see how much better that is? It's not. The other one was it was much worse. And this one, look at that. Even though it's got some creasing and down here, it's kind of worn. That's not too bad. That's a solid good. It's got general wear along the edges, but that's pretty common. This one's actually better condition here. And then it's got a little bit of what you call ring wear. If you guys are not familiar, it's when you can see the impression there. You see the impression, the circular impression of the vinyl record. So if it has ring wear, make sure and put that in your condition notes. The actual album, it's got your typical wear, but there's no scratches and no giant smudges. So that's good, solid, good condition. So on Amazon, here, let's see. Let me show you. This is the listing here. Tina Marie. Okay, I don't know why it's showing that photo, but anyway, this is the right photo. It's so weird when it does that. So here they got a bunch of people that put it in a collectible, which don't do that. Don't put it in a collectible. Just put it into the normal one. This is a white label promotional DJ copy. That's not even the one that's with hype sheet. Okay, I don't know. Yeah, 1980. Yep, and look, that's the G8-997M1. So that's the one right here. Now, when you go to the actual listing, I don't know why it has this different photo. See, that's the photo, but that's for the CD. I don't know. And by the way, the CD, look at the CD prices. Although I don't know what the rank is. Well, that's good for CD. So anyway, the rank for the vinyl though, look at this, 478,000. That is a slow mover. So I mean, I could list it there, but the prices are kind of similar anyway, and I'd rather just do it on eBay, so I can have the photos, and it'll probably sell quicker on eBay anyway. So that's the thing about Amazon, which is what I sold all those vinyl, and that was those records that I sold on Amazon. That was before I started doing eBay as well. And I was sending in ones that were in pretty good shape. You know, I wasn't really sending ones in that were in terrible shape. Most of them were at least good condition. A few were acceptable, but most were in good condition. Like this one that I have here, at least in that kind of condition. If the spine is really mangled, that's going to be acceptable. But anyway, so that's the thing. So on Amazon, you can take photos on Amazon. I think it's what, 6 you can upload. You could do that as well. Most people don't. When you look at listings, most people don't, but it's something that you can do for sure. And for a lot of vinyl, it could be worth going for more money on Amazon as well. But that's the thing to consider, is that you're going to basically hop on. Like when I looked up this one, yeah, that's actually the only, the only listing. But sometimes there'll be more than one listing, and one of the listings will be like won't even have a sales rank, or the sales rank will be ridiculously high. But a lot of times it doesn't even have a sales rank, so don't jump on that one. Clearly jump on the other one that has a sales rank and has other records on there. The other thing about selling on Amazon, if you're doing FBA, if you're doing merchant fulfilled, you don't have to do this, of course, same as eBay. But I did only FBA. I was only doing FBA for vinyl. So you have to. So I bought the internal sleeves, blank white ones, and ones that didn't have the sleeves, I would just replace or just use those generic ones. And I would put in the condition note that if it has the original sleeve, I would say original sleeve included, or I would say has a white replacement sleeve. And then what you have to do is you have to put the vinyl into a transparent, it's like what are those called? Wow. I can't remember. You guys can probably help me out for the CDs, but it's like a sleeve, a transparent sleeve that you put on it. Here. So you just slip it in there. I will show you. And then you seal it up. And then on the outside, because of Amazon, if you're doing FBA, you have to put a suffocation sticker. So it fits in there nicely, and then fits in there super snug. And then there's a strip here you just take off and then seal it. And then on the top, you have to put a suffocation sticker, which I believe I have those over here. There we go. Warning, suffocation sticker you've got to put on there. On each individual one that you send in. You can just buy those on eBay or whatever. And then the FBA sticker has to go on the outside here. I would usually, you could put it on the front, but whatever, front, back. But it has to be on the poly bag. That's what I was trying to think of, on the poly bag. And then, so each individual one has to have that, right? So that's a little bit more time consuming, but that's what it is for FBA, and that's the benefit, right? You send it in, you don't have to worry about it. It sells. Really? And Amazon will ship it out for you. So that's the decision you have to make of whether you want to do FBA or not. It's not much investment to buy the poly bags and the stickers. You can buy a ton of them at once. And if you're going to go big into vinyl, or if you came across a big collection that's worth money and you want to do FBA versus merchant fulfilled or eBay. So those are things to consider if you're going to step into doing FBA. And I recommend it. You can make some good money, as I did with records, but The conditions are important. A lot of these records I have, they're in rough condition, so I'd rather just do eBay to show the condition note. Show the condition with all the photos and that type of stuff. So now with eBay, okay, so in general, things to consider. There's basically 1, 2, 3, three main considerations. You've got your cover and what condition it's in. You've got the internal sleeve, because a lot of these, like this one here, has the original sleeve, which a lot of times will have lyrics on the back. This one has the lyrics. It'll have something on the front. Sometimes it's lyrics. Sometimes it's, whatever they wanted to put on there. Lady T. Anyway, so this was from Tina Marie message. But if you have the original sleeve, if there was, well, there always was one, but especially if it wasn't a blank sleeve, because a lot of them had blank sleeves, then that's going to be worth more money. And of course the condition, right? So the cover. Do you check comps? Type in on eBay or Amazon's cover search for vinyl. It doesn't have barcode. So I would usually type in the title. So for eBay, I do LP. For Amazon, I do vinyl. And I'll compare them. I will. Yeah, you just type it in. I'll just, Tina Marie Irons in the Fire LP for eBay, and then vinyl for Amazon. And I'll just do it that way. I don't usually use the cover search. I prefer just to type it in. So consider the condition, right? Like anything, like a book. This is similar to a book. You just got to make sure that some creasing is okay. It's going to be natural. It's going to happen. For you to find an album from 1980 like this one, I think this is from 1980. For it to be an excellent, very good condition is going to be, this is from, 1980. It's going to be pretty, it's going to be pretty hard to do, considering that an album from 1980 is 40 years old. This is a 40-year-old album, and it's actually in pretty good shape, right? Look at that. You can see all the artwork. It doesn't have any it doesn't have any scratches or tears. It's not water damaged. Creases are expected. It's got some more damage along the edges and on the spine and the corners, but not too bad considering that it's 40 years old, which is crazy when you say it. 40s or 40 years old. And also the internal sleeve many times, like this one. So look at this is the bottom. Here's where the album is supposed to come out, right? It's supposed to be open. But what happens a lot is the bottom and sides of the sleeve, see, it's already torn. Will start tearing, and because it's flimsy, and over the years it happens. This one also has a tiny tear. You can see the vinyl peeking through. This side has a little bit of a tear. Whoops. So I always mention that in my condition notes. Also, the corners, as this one is, will a lot of times be creased, especially on the bottom, because they'll get folded over when they're put in back into the sleeve so many different times that they'll get bent. So that's to be expected. And this is pretty great condition considering it's 40 years old. It's got some creasing, it's got some stains. It's intact. A lot of them, the entire side will be ripped open. It'll be a mess. It won't even be connected. So this one is pretty healthy condition. It's actually missing. Well, no, it's here. It's folded over. There's a little tear, and a piece of it is torn and folded over a bit. But consider all those things. Mention all of those things in your condition notes. You can be generalizations. You can say the internal sleeve has some stains, a few corner creases, and is splitting along the three sides. Basically, there's some side splitting or whatever you want to call it. But it's included, And then the actual vinyl, of course, you want to check for, is it warped? This one is not warped. You can see that it's flat, right? So make sure it's not warped. Um, and then, of course, does it have any scratches? So I don't know if you're gonna be able to tell here, but you can kind of see it. It's got some wear. It's a little difficult to tell. It has some wear. I mean, it's gonna happen, right? There's little tiny. They're not even scratches. They're just. I mean, I guess you call them like mini scratches or whatever. But overall, it's probably going to play perfectly fine. There's one little smudge here you can see. But overall, it's definitely a solid, good condition. You're going to be hard-pressed to find a 40-year-old album that, whoa, look at that. Wait, am I seeing things? Sometimes there'll be little cracks. Maybe I'm seeing things. I thought I just saw a little crack on the edge, on the corner here. The edge, no. So the other thing is, should you test it before you put it up for sale? No. Only, just like CDs, only test. With CDs, of course, you can resurface. With records, you can't resurface. You can clean it. There are some vinyl cleaning machines or apparatuses on the market you can buy. Whoops. But you can clean it, wipe it down with a rag, that type of thing. But you don't need to test it for resale unless it has some scratches that you can see and or feel with your fingernail. So if you run your fingernail across it and you can feel that scratch, you should definitely test it, because chances are when it plays, it's gonna skip a little bit or something won't sound right. I don't recommend testing all of these albums because it'll be really time consuming. It's already time consuming considering the physical nature of these and how big they are, and having to take photos. Okay. And, hey, he has to wait, B. He's got to wait. Or, so yeah, I wouldn't recommend testing every single one, because it'll just take too much time. Imagine you have a 50, 40, 70, 100 records. So just check real quick. Just look real quick. Let's see, any scratches? Nope. Good. Done. Just like a CD, just take a look. If it has scratches, then you're gonna have to test it. If you don't have a vinyl record player, you're gonna have to buy one if you're gonna really go into vinyl. I bought a record player, not just to resell, but I wanted us as a family in the house to have a record player so that if there's records that we want to keep and play, that we can play them, right? So it's an investment, not just in your reselling business, but personally, if you have no interest whatsoever in owning vinyl records, then it's just going to be an investment in your reselling business, assuming you're going to probably just buy a record player if you're going to be reselling a lot of records, because otherwise, if you're not going to have your own personal collection, why bother? The record player I bought, I can't remember the brand off the top of my head, but I think it was like $200. It's a nice one. I mean, I did not go crazy and spend a high end one, but I also didn't want a super cheapy one. I wanted one that looks nice, it's going to last, and it's quality. So I bought that years ago, 4 years ago or something like that, when I first got into records, because I couldn't test them. So you're going to have to do that as well if you're going to resell a lot of records, like hundreds of records. Chances are there's going to be some you're going to want to test. And if you were to just randomly test the records that you were going to resell, a lot of them have that crackly popping sounds while the record plays. That's normal. That's just how it sounds. Sometimes it's worse than, if it's dirty, it can be much worse because there's some dirt in the grooves. But like I said, you can clean it. Look up online for different ways, different strategies of cleaning it. People clean records in different ways. That's for sure. Yeah, I mean, that's it. I mean, that's basically it in terms of how to deal with records for selling them on Amazon or eBay. Like anything else on Amazon, consider the sales rank. consider the number of offers in order to determine, and the sales history, of course, Keepa, camel, 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 whatever you use. Consider the sales history, all that stuff on eBay. Look at the solds. If you have a store, look at Terapeak. So you can see, if you look on eBay, you're going to see tons and tons of records selling every single day. I mean, it's a big business on eBay for sure. But again, like any other product, you're going to have to decide, weigh the amount of time, well, how much you spend on the record to resell it, to buy it for resale, and then how much time you're going to need to spend to prepare it. Of course, like anything else, once you get a system down, it's pretty quick, right? If you buy 100 records, let's say, locally for $50 or even $100, but there looks like there's some good titles in there, and you're finding ones going for $20, $25, $30, $40, so you can make some good money back, return on your investment. It's going to take a little bit of time because you're going to have to look at all those. You're going to look at the sleeve, the covers, internal sleeve. You probably have to buy some brand new white internal sleeves to replace as replacement sleeves. That's another investment too, which is not that much money, but you can buy those on eBay. And then you're gonna have to replace the cases, the sleeves, or potentially test some albums, and then take photos. You're gonna have to take photos of the front and back cover. If it's got damage along the edges, take pictures of that. The internal sleeve, front and back. And of course, what I do is I take a picture of both sides of the record. So the whole record, both sides. And then I'll do a close-up of the label so that people, nice close-up. So people will see that it's the correct record, has the right, exactly what they want, the version that they want, etc. So they know what they're getting, like anything else. So it's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, at least 8. A lot of times I'll use up all 12 photos for eBay, but I would say minimum of about 8 photos, sometimes 10. On average, probably 10 photos for eBay. So it's going to take more time, right? This is not an item that I would recommend use stock photos for, if there even are stock photos for records, which I guess there probably are. Definitely want to take your own photos. And if they're going to go for more money, of course, it's going to make sense to take your own photos. So those are things to consider. With Amazon, you don't really need to take photos. Just make sure your condition notes are filled out accurately, that they actually reflect what's there. So if you want to diversify, which I always recommend, albums are really good to get into. I recommend sticking to the albums that are going for around $20 or higher, just because it's more time consuming. There's more physical components to deal with, and you have to take more photos unless you're just doing Amazon. But like anything else, it's worth the investment of time, because once you've gone through several thousand records and you've sold several hundred, you get to become more and more of a pro at it, and you know what's worth looking up when you're out there in the wild. When you go to someone's estate sale and they've got 500 records, but 400 of them are swinging big band, musical titles, soundtrack titles from back in the 50s, classical, stuff that you will know when you see it, or the old ones, the 45s, which of course there's always, like anything else, there's always valuable ones, but the majority are not, just like VHS tapes. So you have to know what to look for. I usually just stick to the LPs. So you know what to look for. So if you're at a estate sale and there's 500, you say, oh, big record collection, but then you go and 400 of them are not even worth looking up and pulling off the shelf. Well, you'll know you only want to look up those 100. And guess what? No barcode. So you've got to either type them in, or you can do a cover photo, whichever is quicker or better for you. But that's going to take more time than just scanning and moving on. Some albums will have barcodes. Some will. From the 80s, you started to see barcodes. This one doesn't, but some will. So you will be able to scan, but majority will not. So it's a time commitment, but like anything else for reselling, if you put in the time and the effort and you learn it, you can get really good at it and you can make some really good money with records. So that's just kind of another tool in my tool belt. I know CDs, I know books. Uh, I'm getting better with DVDs. I know VHS pretty well. I've sold hundreds of them, and I've sold hundreds of records. So records. That's the thing. I have a general idea by looking at a record whether it's worth looking up, but there's so many records and so many artists that I don't know, that I'm still learning with records. But it's in the similar vein as CDs, where you want to look at the artwork, you want to look at the artist, what genre is it in, what era is it from, and those will help you decide whether to look it up. Similar to VHS tapes, the popular titles you don't necessarily want to do. Some popular titles that you would see a million times on CD will actually sell on vinyl. There weren't maybe as many copies made. Um, it's a pop like the Huey Lewis and the News, right? That CD, that vinyl record that I sold, I've seen the CD a lot, and it's not worth money individually. Um, but as a vinyl record, you can sell it. So that's what I mean, that it's different. Um, it's a different animal, I guess you could say. Uh, yeah. So if you guys have other questions about vinyl, ask me. Otherwise, I wanted to show you something. I had a sale that I wanted to show as educational here. So I've been doing the DVD lots on eBay a lot, and I've slowly learned how to do it. So for the popular titles, I recommend doing the wholesale, and then you'll make some money off those. So what I did is, though, often patience pays off, right? So as I was going through all of those DVDs and the Gaylords that I had, that I finished, weeks ago, all of the sealed DVDs that were not worth money individually for me to resell on eBay, I kept piling them up right on the floor there. And after I got back, went through those last 4 Gaylords, I had a bunch of them. So once I went through all of that to resell, I ended up having 77 of sealed DVDs. And then here, I'll show you my. Come on. And these are some of the titles. Here, I will show you my screen. So these are some of the titles, right? Big Daddy, Bruno, Cinderella Man, Born Supremacy, Boondock Saints. There's Airplane up there. What else we got here? Goonies, Elf. I also had some multiple copies. Crash, Ferris Bueller's Day Off, Guardian, High Crimes. Let's see. Maid of Honor. As you can tell, Midnight in Paris. A lot of these are well known. Matilda. You see a lot of those. What's that? Meet Joe Black. So a lot of, The Sandlot. I also put kids ones in here too that were sealed. Shrek 2. Yeah, and then a few here. Whoa. Okay, anyway, you get the point. So I listed that as, I did a 7-day auction, 99 cents, and here's what it ended up selling for, $113.16. I listed it in the wholesale. I put mini genres wholesale for resale, a few duplicates. I started it at 99 cents, and it got crazy action here. So it just kind of went up. As you can see, lots and lots of bids. And on the last day, that person won. But anyway, yeah, it went to $113. So think about that as okay. Anyway, so consider that as keep that in mind. When you're going through certain things, new can go for a lot of money, a lot more money, if they're not worth money individually. Let's see. Indie Discs says 90s vinyl high value as it's rare, less printed back then. Yeah, I found a few 90s. I found like Tony, Tony, Tony. I found um, Jasmine Guy. Uh, oh, some Janet Jackson. There's one Janet Jackson that, oh no, I'm going to sell that locally. I found like two Janet Jacksons. I found, oh no, was that 80s? I'm sorry, that might have been 80s. But I've only found a handful of 90s in this collection. So it makes sense that in the 90s, because their CDs were so big in the 90s that vinyl was not as big and not as many copies were made. So therefore, it's going to be harder to find. So yeah, that does make sense. More valuable. I always like to do this. I don't know if you guys like it, but let's see. Vinyl record. Let's see. 90s. Let's see if anything pops up. So, looking on eBay, Madonna, I'm Breathless, yellow vinyl record. Oh, I found two records that had different color vinyls. One was one was blue and one was either red or yellow. The albums didn't go for much money, which is sad because I really enjoy those. The different colored vinyl records, those are really cool. Look at this. So $40 with shipping. Okay. Oasis. See, this is one. Look at that. Oasis. See it on CD all the time, but because it's on record. Michael Jackson. Blood. I never heard of that. Blood Dance Floor. Okay. It's a 7-inch. 7 inches too. Sell for money. Here's a Georgia Michael. Georgia Michael again. Wow. Another Georgia Michael. This is all from the UK. Oh, another one of this Madonna. Apparently it's not that rare. There's 2 copies that were sold. So look out for that one. L Cool J. That's cool. With Beavis and Butthead. What? That's funny. Pick any now. Here. Lot of 80s, 90s dance vinyl. Gloria Estefan, DeBarge. Kids on the Block, Climax, Loose Ends. Look at that. I don't know what it actually sold for, but good amount. Let's see what else we got here. I never heard of that. Apex Twin. Huh. Well, let me see. Vinyl record. Oops, Janet Jackson. $9.99. These are, oh, here's one. Control the Remixes limited edition vinyl. $54 from the UK. Wow. Here's one. Control. It's sealed though. $20. Oh, look at this one. See, this makes sense. It's from 2004. So you know there were probably not that many. Rare. Look at this. Demita Joe. Yeah. You see that DVD a lot. I see the DVD a lot. And it definitely is not worth much individually. But look at the vinyl record. And it's not new either. $83. Nice. And look at this one. Janet Jackson. 20-year-old, I guess. 20, I don't know. But from 2006. Janet Jackson lot? Oh, and Michael Jackson. Huh. There's another one. I wonder about Michael Jackson. Let's see that. Michael Jackson off the wall. Here's one. Picture disc. Let's see. I don't know what this Blood Dance Floor is. Holy, look at this. Look at this, guys. Michael Jackson History Vinyl LP box set. Woo! That's a nice one. So I don't know. I guess it's rare, so it might be difficult to find. That's both from the UK. Well, the UK's killing it. Wow, 335 and 274. Nice. Let's see. These are all pretty low priced. As you can see, plenty are low priced. That's the thing. Do you want to waste your time? That was mean. Do you want to spend the time it takes to sell a record for $4.99? And also, oh, that's the other thing That's the other thing. Come on, is you need the proper box to mail it. Don't try to hunt and find these boxes because it's gonna be hard. I recommend you can buy 25 at a time in a pack on eBay, and they fold over. They fit perfectly. Uh, Easy, right? So you also need the boxes if you're going to mail them merchant fulfilled or you're going to do eBay. So make sure to take that into consideration if you're going to do vinyl in any sort of, big level or high level or quantity, I should say. Whoopsie. Michael Jackson. Nice. There you go. Bad. It's new though. Brand new. Looks like a stock photo. Oh, look, Michael Jackson, Dangerous, 2722. So, yeah, I mean, look at this Michael Jackson. They don't care about us. Huh. $50. Nice. Yeah, some of his don't go. I mean, Thriller is kind of, there's too many copies. Bad seems to do better than Thriller, probably less copies. Let's try, let's do this. Let's do this. New Kids on the Block. How much vinyl is for New Kids on the Block? Well, that was a lot. Here we go. New Kids on the Block, Hanging Tough, 30th anniversary. That's from the UK though. 2780. Whoo, guys, look at this. White label promo. New Kids on the Block, Face the Music from 94. Exactly what Indie Discs was talking about. Hi guys, very late. Today we'll catch up later. No problem, Tom. We're gonna finish up here soon, but I just wanted to kind of go through different vinyl records. This is helping all of us to get an idea of what's worth looking up when we're out there. Do you get free mailers from eBay? Mailers. Oh yeah. Every quarter, every 3 months, every quarter, I get the $50 certificate or whatever it's called, credit, because I have a store. So I get those 14 by 10 inch bubble mailers. So I buy those. Those are great. Yeah, they're like $35, and so I buy those. Excuse me. What I'm probably gonna do next time is I'm gonna buy 2 of them. I usually just buy 1 pack, and that's been enough. But because I've been listing more on eBay and spending more time with that, I'll probably buy 2 because I have an extra, $10 or something left over, so I might as well use it. Anywho, so here we go. Look at this, guys. New Kids on the Block, Face the Music, just as Indie Disc. What did Indie Disc just say? What did he just say? 90s vinyl, high value as it's rare, less printed back then. And look at this. 1994, New Kids on the Block, Face the Music, $249. It's a white label promo, so apparently that's worth money. Here's another one for $36, but it is brand new. Hanging Tough. So that one was impressive. So there's a lot of good higher price ones here. Let's look up. How about Britney Spears? Haha. What about vinyl for Britney Spears? Here we go. Look at that. Picture disc. I don't know what's the picture. Ooh, look at this. Britney Jean pink vinyl. $51. Again, the UK. But that's brand new. So wow. Oh, look at this one. That's cool. It looks like it has a yellow disc, huh? That's cool. And this one, Blackout. Again, these are 90s, so these are more rare. And I hardly ever see a Britney Spears album, I gotta say. That's because they're rare. Look at her. I mean, it's just consistently selling for, $25 and up. Many of them over $50. Here's another one. Britney Spears. Here's another. Look at that. I mean, killing it. Pretty cool, guys. So anyway, let's try Christina Aguilera. Oops. Is that how you spell it? Or am I misspelling that? Okay, got it. Here's some good stuff for her. 32, $28, $24.99. Red vinyl. That's cool. Look at this one. Self-titled album. CD's not worth anything, but the vinyl is. Yeah. What about Justin Timberlake. Look at that. Anyway. All right, guys. So you guys get the point. I appreciate you guys tuning in. What about the monkeys? Oh, yeah, but that's older. And let me see. Here's one. The Monkeys, 3656. Oh, here's another one. The Monkeys Classic Album Collection, 9 LP. Oh, that's a box set, though. Most of them not going for that much. Okay, wait. But, you know, if you go back to classic rock, like, let's do Kiss. Look at that. 150 bucks. Look at how cool the marble multicolored vinyl. So anyway, all right, guys. So go do some research on your own. Check it out. Does the vinyl box go in another box, or just slap a label on it? The vinyl box. Talking about FBA, Brian. Let me know real quick. If you're talking about FBA, you don't need to send in a box. You just put it in the poly bag, and then you send it into FBA, and you put the sticker on the poly bag, the FBA sticker. If you're talking about eBay or merchant fulfilled, yeah, you put the mailing, the shipping label on the box. Yes. Actually, Whitney Houston is not worth. There's some. Whitney Houston is not worth that much. eBay. Does the vinyl box go in another box? No. Just the vinyl box. Just the vinyl mailing box. Yes. 25 vinyl record mailers. Here we go. Check it out. Here you go. 25 record mailing boxes. I don't remember which one I got specifically. It looked more like this. It might have been this one. So 2350. There you go. 2350. It's like that. It just folds over. Yeah. And this one here too. Anyway. All right, guys. I got to go. I appreciate you guys tuning in. Thank you for, Led Zeppelin for sure. Classic rock in general. So let's play the music. Get on out of here.
Flippin' live, flippin' live,
absolutely, what am I doing? I'm not back on the camera. Absolutely for classic rock, you're gonna do really well. Look up classic rock, like Pink Floyd. Look up the Beatles. Look up the Who. Look up Steely Dan. All those kind of well-known or lesser well-known classic rock, Jefferson Airplane, that kind of stuff, for vinyl record sales on eBay, and you'll see that it sells for really good money. So thanks for tuning in, guys. This was day 21. This has been 3 weeks of doing Flippin' Live. Tomorrow, Sunday, we'll do another show. I'm not sure what we'll talk about, but we'll dive into something. If you guys have ideas, let me know. Please give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Please subscribe if you're not already subscribed to the channel. And thanks for watching, guys. Keep booking and stay safe out there. Wash your hands, wear face masks, stay safe, guys. I'll see you tomorrow. Take care.